All right, we are live on YouTube, starting just a minute early here, and welcome everybody. Welcome. Hey Kimberly, glad to see you in the chat. Happy Valentine's Day for the second time, second live stream, and yeah. So here we go. Pop my face off of the details there. We have what's on tap over there. Let's talk about Beyond CPI. I think it says CPP. I think that's supposed to be CPI. And we'll talk about the data Armageddon, data Gemin that we have this week. More data coming. CPI was not the only market moving thing. And then, as always, we will do your requests. You pick the stocks. I'll go through them just as fast as I can. We'll do at least 30 minutes, maybe longer. And we're coming up on 5 o'clock. About 20 seconds left. So, all right. Let's get on it, right? So, glad to have everybody. If you're brand new, make sure you give me a shout out in the chat. Love to welcome you, tell you a little bit about me. I've been trading for a long time, as we all know. I started when I was like in 3rd grade with paper trading, playing the stock market game. When I turned 18, I opened a real money account, and that was some years ago. As you might be able to tell, I had hair back then. I actually had long hair. Doesn't grow so long anymore. So, anyway, if you got questions, ask them. I'll do my best to answer. But let's go ahead and let's jump into it, shall we? I mean, got to lead off with the those nasty tasting little candy hearts in the background there, and the disclaimer that all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation informational, educational, and fun, and is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. If you desire that personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. That out of the way, we got stocks above the 50-day moving average, S5FI, and we're kind of coming in here. We're just kind of chugging along right in the zone where I've been talking about. Staying between 50 and 80, just we can head higher. And we're not getting major move here. Just kind of chugging. If we look at it on, this is the chart I ended up on this morning. If we check it out on this one, and we're just kind of chugging, a little bit up, a little bit down, just hanging in here. Didn't quite go down as far as I was thinking we might. So we may just push up and ride the top here. Now, we don't want to look at the market movers for the day because this is the afternoon show, but let's talk about S&P 500 for a minute here. Talk about what I see. We had this big candle right here on the 7th. Nice, big, fat candle, real balanced. Tail on the top, tail on the bottom, very balanced. And set a huge range, right? The next day, we had an inside candle. Inside candles are indecision. Like, we don't know which way we're going. The next day, we gapped up, but we dropped and closed below the range of this candle. The next day, we opened and popped right back up into the bottom of the range. The next day, we were, nice strong candle right back up in, inside candle, inside this big green one over here. And today, again, inside. I think this was a fake breakout lower. Fake out. The next move I kind of expect to happen would be this breakout higher. But if we break out lower one more time, we're probably going down here to the roadmap line. So that's the range right there. Open it up, look at the daily candle on the February 7th. Daily candle. Draw a box. We break out the top. We're probably going up to 4,300. We break out the bottom. We're probably coming back down here to about 4,000. All right, that's the two most likely scenarios right there. So, any questions on that before I get going to something else? That's the two highest probability paths for the S&P 500 right there. Now, I mentioned we have some other data coming up. Data Gemin, CPI came in a little hot actually today. When we look at the year over year, CPI came in at 6.4. And we expected 6.2. We got 6.4. Coming in just a little bit hot. A little bit above forecast. And think about it. 6% inflation. I mean, the Fed's target is like 2, maybe 3. We're at 6.5, 6.4, almost 6.5. That's pretty hot. It certainly is not back down. It's not even really continuing the trend. It's just kind of holding. We held over here on the way up for several months, and then so we could get a little pullback, but I'm not so sure the inflation is going away, or that the market's gonna, the Fed's gonna cut any kind of rates. So be careful on this. Now, core CPI month over month came in basically in line again. Now, what am I talking about? Core for tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning, before the market even opens, we get core retail sales. Expecting the market's kind of expecting a drop here, expecting a pullback. That was the forecast for 9%, 0.9% on the upside. So we're expecting a little better, but we're just chopping in the range here. So anything bigger than 0.9 is probably going to drive the market crazy. And if we get negative, that's going to freak the market out probably. We also get the Empire State Manufacturing. You can see it's been down, expecting a less down but still negative print. And retail sales that aren't core, we were at negative 1.1 last month, expecting a 1.9 this time. We'll see what the actual print is before the market opens. So if you want to know, come watch my morning show. I've got a morning show at 9:15. So after these numbers come out, I'll be going live at 9:15 and talking about it. So we'll see what happens there. Now, that's not it though. Then on Thursday morning at 8:30 in the morning, again before the market opens, we get core PPI and PPI. This is the producer price index, and expecting a little rise there. Forecast 0.3%. Increases in PPI are not good for inflation. I mean, if producers' prices are going up, that means inflation is still happening. So, for months we had huge PPI prints before the inflation really trickled down into the real economy. So that's something to keep an eye on. The market's probably going to react to that one on Thursday also. So it's all part of the data Armageddon that we have this week. All right, moving on. We already covered SPY. So Nasdaq. Let's pop over to the ES here. ES is in this little triangle thing. Stupid little triangle thing. Hate triangle things. We've got this high we made back in December. Carried across. We tried to break out there. Didn't get it. Came back. Tested the trend line that we've had all year. This is an uptrend of the lows. But we're running out of steam here. Are we going to break out or are we going to break down? Like I said, it looks likely we break out, but if we break down, we're probably going to come at least to here, if not all the way back down in this zone around 3,900. Just be cautious of your parameters. Watch where we are. If we break out above this high right here that we had on February 2nd, whoa, baby, 4,300 is next. And if that doesn't cause any slowdown, then we're on the path. But we got this high right here, around 4,300 to contend with from August. And that's the resistance. That is a major resistance that we have to get through to go higher. All right, Nasdaq looks prime to pop right up and test that prior high. Also, that was a very nice pullback on Nasdaq. Didn't really show up on S&P, but very nice pullback on Nasdaq, and it's set to go. That was a nice three-wave retrace. Didn't quite touch the roadmap line. Didn't have to. We can pop right there. Russell also held above its, that was the resistance on the way up. Had trouble getting up through. We came up, didn't quite make it to the prior high, retraced back, tested it. This thing's primed to go also. So Russell, small caps, and Nasdaq, big tech, both look primed to go, and they're going to drag S&P along with it if they both go. bearish. I was bearish on oil. Still am bearish on oil, even though we got a little pop up here. That's a lower high at this point. Strategic Petroleum Reserve releases. They're going to crank up another 26 million barrel release or so. Sounds like they're trying to push oil down further. Really, what they're trying to do is alleviate gas prices, but I'm not sure gas prices are going down. This thing can break out right here. Got a nice little head and shoulders here building. If we break back down, we can push down, but I don't know. Are we going to do this kind of thing and break down? Or are we going to do the other pattern that looks like, you know, we've got a head and shoulders forming for the upside? That's really going to mess with everybody. They drain this Strategic Petroleum Reserve, and we have $4 gasoline. Like, that's going to mess with everybody, right? And that's just $4 for wholesale. At the pump, especially if you're in California, you probably have $7, $8, $9 gas. It'd be crazy. Anyway, natural gas continues to mess around down here at the bottom, way below all the support. Just got wrecked. I'm not even sure what's going on. LNG, the company LNG restarting services, but their stock hasn't responded yet. So they pulled a ship into port, and they're going to start loading it. Gold continuing the pullback here, and it's probably on the back of the dollar kind of popped up and it's parked right here at this support resistance line. If the dollar rolls off, then gold just might be able to pop. So watch for that next leg. It didn't really get back to the roadmap line yet, though, so I kind of, sort of expect gold to pull on back right there. Then copper also looks like it could pull just a little bit deeper right there before the next leg higher. Lumber, what a rejection off of the roadmap line. Beautiful. Coming right back down. Target's down here around 250-ish on lumber. Housing futures, got to jump up to the weekly chart to see it. Continuing their climb. Their resistance is right up here at 316. We break above that, and we can be on a pathway to 343 for housing futures. Alrighty. That kind of wraps up that, and I'm sure everybody wants to know about their favorite crypto, Bitcoin. We are consolidating. And on the daily, we came down just shy of the roadmap line. Potentially turning here. What does that mean? Well, for Mara, this sucker did what I call a measured bounce setup. We came up, we retraced to the 618, held it for essentially 3 days, potentially breaking it back higher. This thing can go. The target at the minimum is right up here around 13, 12, 13. And on the log scale, which is what this really looks good at, it puts the bullish target at 33 for now. Then we get a pullback and go higher. So right before the close, I bought some $7.50 calls out to January 2025. Paid about $3.50 for them, I think it was. So that right there, if it runs to 33, that's a pretty good return on that money. That's like $25 profit, roughly. So that's what I got to say about that. All right, now it's that time of the day where I start taking requests. So I see a few in here. NVIDIA, still bullish. I mean, that's riding the AI revolution right there. They sell $20,000 V100 cards to do these AI models with. And guess what? AI is not going away. It's just more and more demand. So right there, target right up there around 340. And Amazon did the pullback, kind of held this support right here, stuck for a few days. If we can start breaking, pushing higher, we get back above that zone. Previous high around 145, And my target is right up here between 145 and 160 out in the summer. That's what I'm looking for in my position June, and I have one out to July also. So there's my position. Expecting Amazon to get trucking here, especially if the market breaks out higher. All right, cost is a horrible, horrible pattern, and I would stay away from that. Look at this. I mean, this is like the most unreliable pattern that I know of. It can break down, it can break up. It's one of those where you got to put in the log to even make sense out of this thing. 325 to 750-ish. That's the range. If you can't accept a move in that range, then watch out. But right now it's just going to continue into the wedge, and at some point it's going to break out and go. So stay away from that one. I already did Bitcoin, so we got X is the next request. All right, that's what it looks like. I would feel better if it pulled back to the roadmap line, but it can just break out and go higher. The path, the resistance above us is right there between 30.50 and 34.50. We get above that, we can extend out to 45 or 53, but it did prove to be resistance once already, so be careful. Watch that one right there. All right. Yeah, I got plenty of leap ideas. We talk about them all the time in Discord lately. All right, so what's up next? Who's got something? No more requests? Really? That was it? I mean, usually you guys are flooding me out with requests here. Google? All right, we'll hit Google. We can hit Apple too. I mean, that's a popular one. And Google did the measured bounce setup, but it's not going yet. A break back above 97 can set it up to run back up here. The proportions. Let's do a little proportion off of that. Yeah, 136 would be the upside right there. I have not taken my position yet. I have my alert set right there to find one. But that's the move if it can go, but it has to go. It can't break down below this trend line, this downtrend line that was like the 2022 downtrend line. Breaks back below that, 79, 71 on the downside. So, all right, A, B, and B. And that's a beautiful setup. Market roadmap set up right there. It's not a big one though, so it's not gonna have a huge target. The target just 125 to 129 right in the short term here. Needs a bigger pullback. But that did the exact market roadmap setup where you break above, retest, extend up would be 125, 129. All right. Let's see, AEHR. Yeah, it's just hitting targets. Not enough pullback to. I guess, technically that could be enough pullback, but it's not really an echo of any prior move, so I would be cautious that we get a bigger pullback. That one really would make me cautious. FTNT. Nice pop there on earnings. Beating on the top, not on the bottom. And resistance right there. So right up to resistance. Has no trend really going. It's just chopping around. I mean, that, if anything, that's a downtrend, but it just broke out of that potentially. It's kind of a downtrend here. So it broke out of it, and we're just kind of hovering. We haven't really confirmed that we're going to change back to an uptrend. That's like caution, danger, because we also have, if you run the fib line right here, we're sitting right at the 618 fib. It's funny how that all comes together right there, right? So above 66, this thing can start heading up to 82 or 93, but hanging out here, I would be cautious. It can definitely come back, retest that from where that trend line from where it broke out before it can get the energy to come out. All right. Got lots of requests now. All right, LMT, y'all came alive. Yeah, Lockheed Martin, all the defense stocks are going to start rocking. I have a feeling, especially as the new contracts are let to replace all the weapon systems that the U.S. has given to Ukraine. That's LMT. My target's right up there. And perfect market roadmap bounce. Really want to see a close above 489 to really kind of guarantee that we aren't going to roll down one more time. NOC, that one obviously got to get back above the roadmap line. It's got that gap. It's probably going to fill at some point. Back above there can be bullish. And RTX is another one. And it's pretty much about to signal, like back above 102. Target up here around 120. So there you go. PLTR. That's the hot news today. There's my target, like 15 in the short term, 23 in the bigger pattern, probably out to late summer, maybe. Just depends. It kind of went sideways for a long time. If it can keep the excitement, the momentum going, we're looking for 15, then a pullback, and then it'll be like this, and then right up in there, and then unfortunately right back down here, and then the bigger move, maybe a little higher there, maybe right in there. That's what I expect on PLTR. I've had calls for months, $13 calls. Kind of rode them underwater here into this move. So, and I'm out to 2024 with those. So I got like 11 months left, or 10 and a half months. So, all right. TLT. This one has a setup to pop or potentially break down and drop. This is a measured bounce type setup. And the target is between 115 and 120. But you gotta go. Gotta go. If it breaks down back below like 102, it's probably gonna make a move back down into the 90s. So that's what I got right now. All right. AI has been hot, and I still think it would look best with a pullback back to the roadmap line, but it doesn't have to do that. Obviously, it's getting a little more bullish right up there. That pop, it just looks best if it comes back and touches that roadmap line, and then it can get the next pop. But it does have resistance right up there where it did that consolidation for like 2 months, 3 months. So we broke above this crap right here. It may come back, bounce off the roadmap line, and then come up here and find some resistance around 48. All right, CRM. Yeah, that's the target right there. That's the resistance. Very similar to that AI chart where you got that resistance, bounce now, and then come up there and then bounce again. So that's something to watch for. All right, and let's go with LAC. And just kind of stuck in that crappy triangle bullcrap. That's a bullcrap pattern. It's stuck right there, right between the downtrend and the roadmap line, and there is no high probability path right now. I'm just selling calls, and I'm basically break even. Like, my position is right there. I've sold $27 and $30 calls against what I have, and those expire this Friday. So I'll have unleveraged shares available for something. We'll see what happens at the end of the week. All right, Square got a nice, very nice echo pattern, bounce right back down to the roadmap line. Has some resistance to work through here, but I'm quite bullish. If the market turns bullish, 95 is my target initially. If we can get above 95, then we're on the path. 140 or 150-ish becomes the next resistance up there where we topped out back here. And then 200 up there. If you've heard, you probably heard me talk about it. If you haven't heard me talk about it, go watch some videos on YouTube, the past videos. But I'm quite bullish on Square longer term, and I'm holding synthetic stock right now. So if you're not familiar, come join me. I'll teach you about synthetic stock. Visa, looking for that pop. It's consolidating right there at that 1618 extension of that pullback, bounce off the roadmap line. It may pull back a little more before it can get the energy to pop up here. 240 is my target right now on Visa. MA, that one looks a little more sluggish. We're looking like we're going to roll over. We've been kind of sideways, blah. It looks like we're going to roll on back to the roadmap line there. All right, JPM. Had a nice echo right there in extension. The extension won't be super big. Let's see. Yeah, like 145, 148. That's where I would expect on JPM on the next push higher, right up there. Not a huge one. These little extensions aren't huge. And there's an echo of this move. Expect it right off of. Yeah, right off of there. That puts us right to 148. That move right there, copied right over there, right to 148. Alrighty, Tesla is a crazy stock. Stuck at the roadmap line. Look at that. You may want to debate with me that the roadmap line doesn't provide resistance. Look at that. Came right up to it. And we've been there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days just in that general vicinity. Maybe 6, 7, 8 days. I don't know. Came up, kind of slowed down, poked up, came right back down. Kind of expected that to happen there. We almost came back and tested that line. Came up a little short, but the next move is right up to test this trend line. Right there. That's the downtrend of the highs we've had going all the way back here from November 21. We need to come up, test that, probably bounce back down, retest the roadmap line before we can break out. That's what I'm feeling. But that puts us up to about, that downtrend line is like 250. Let's see where we're at right here. 255-ish right now. If we just popped up there, the longer it takes, the lower it goes. So 250 maybe. Down, if it takes a while, it can be 240. So that's the zone right there. Looking to hit this trend line. So if the market goes higher, pushes to 4,300 on S&P 500, Tesla's probably going to rocket right up here, test this 250 area where that trend line is. All right, Meta has got a date with this gap fill, one way or another. And it may very well fill the gap that it just made first, which is what it kind of looks like it's gonna do. It left this gap right here. It looks like it may come back, fill that gap before we can go higher. And it's got that gap to fill. Eventually it'll go up there and fill it, I'm sure. Alrighty. Next up, KHC, Kraft Heinz, is just chopping sideways. I believe that was on the roadmap watch list for the week. It's got to get above 41 to 41, 40 to be any kind of interesting. 43, 45 on the upside. Let's see, RBLX. Roblox is stuck in a downtrend. My primary expectation would be that, unless it can get above here. Earnings are coming up. Losing money. Losing money. I think I went through this before. Never making money. Losing tons of money. Things that lose money. Right now, this is not the environment to be running a company that loses money. It's very hard to get more financing. It's very expensive. Money's very expensive right now. You just can't run a company that loses money constantly. You got to start making money. So Roblox looks like it's going to get punished for that fact. Cisco stuck sideways. If it can break out above 49, we can get to 52 or 53. Otherwise, it's just kind of riding the roadmap line sideways. Shop. Potential to get up to this zone right there, 63. Nothing really changed. Looks like it's on the path. Pulled back. Didn't quite retest that breakout of the high there. Yeah, looks like it's bullish to me. DKNG. Just kind of stuck sideways right on the roadmap line. That was a nice break above. Retest. If it can break above this high, get an extension. Not much though. We're kind of, yeah, we're probably up this 1970 area, below that resistance, and maybe retrace again back to the roadmap line. It's got some stuff to work through. So, and then Dash. Again, got some stuff to work through. That one broke out though. Didn't do that. I haven't looked at this in a little while. Oh, came up. Oh. It did what I drew. It broke out, retested, pushed up, pulled back again. Now we got to break. Now we got to break out above this crap right here. If it's going higher, it's got to get above that 60, like 66. Got to get above 66 to go higher. And we got resistance at 80. I'm looking right where that crap is. Not high probability. Can easily run right back down from where we broke out here. I don't like that one. That's dangerous. All right, PSX. Phillips 66. Despite oil's bearish patterns, a lot of these look really good for going higher. 118, 124 on the upside. Target right up in here. And it's right at the point. Like, as long as it doesn't bounce down off of this prior high. If you got in right here, I mean, this is a conservative entry. If you got in here, you don't want to see it bounce down off of that. If it did, you want to get out. You want to see it just keep on going and trucking right up there. That's, yeah, that's a really nice pattern. So far, beautiful. I expect it to come right back down here, find support, and then bounce and go. Upside, yeah, right in there. Right around 8 to 9. Now if it breaks back below the roadmap line, watch out. We can return back to the lows, but losing money. It's a dangerous game. All right. We've got XBI. Biotechs, that's another one. You got to be careful here. Like I said, biotechs tend to run on borrowed money, investment capital. Money's expensive right now. It's hard to borrow money. So biotechs are going to be having a hard time. This is not the environment for biotechs. They can't, like, there's just no more free money. So watch out for breaking down. ETSI. Nope. ETSI is not a ticker. Yeah. MSFT. Potentially breaking out. It's got a resistance above us. This thing's been kind of blah. I mean, we broke out of the downtrend, but we haven't gone anywhere yet. So, and we got to make a higher high than we made right back here. It's resistance. So I would be very careful on this one. We can pop up here and retrace all the way back down where we are. Just like this. Before it can get out of here. Now it did set up a little bit of a bullish pattern here, but yeah, it's gotta get above that zone. If it stops there, we're in trouble. If it gets up to 311 and can hold above there, then it can keep on trucking. All right. XRT. That's a pretty fair. Let's see. Let's run some proportions here. So we got caution. See that right there? Caution on that one. If we can get above there, it's bullish. But if it and if it retraces to here, right, that roadmap line, and then bounces, that's bullish. But if it breaks down, not looking so hot. Caution. That's sideways overlapping caution. That's a run. That's down. It looks like it's gonna. There's a lot of alternate energy stuff that looks pretty horrible. That's not one of them. That one is one of them. Looks like it's gonna break down in phase. All right, NKE. Yeah. Looks like it needs a retrace. I mean, that's like one big move up. I caution on one big move up. One big move up because we can get one big retrace back down, but then that sets up what I call the measured bounce setup, which can lead to an even bigger up. So be careful. That's like one big, hardly a retrace move up. At the minimum, retrace to the roadmap line, but we may see a bigger retrace. Caution on Nike. All right. Already did AI. Pretty sure I did XRT. Yep, just did that one. UPS is sideways. Still looks like it's sideways. We're just stuck in this area right here. Nothing awesome cooking on UPS right now. Until we can break above that. All right, QCOM. Golly, my nose itches. That has a, remove some of this crap off here from before. These levels won't matter anymore. So we've got the right tool. Yeah, this is the pattern I was talking about a minute ago on whatever it was. It bounced off that 1272, came right back to the roadmap line. It needs to extend right up here, probably retrace again, and then break out even higher. If at any point it fails to do this kind of stuff, then it's probably going lower. And I would set an alert like right here. If it gets below 123, about 123, it's probably going down the toilet. So, all right. ETSY. Etsy. Man, that one's on a. Today I issued a watch out, like a red alert on Echo Trades, my premier trend pullback continuation service, to watch this one before I push up because the next push can be a doozy. This is basically a market echo. It has incredibly high targets for where we are, like this 155 to 160 area right there. But I gotta see it move back up through 140 with some options placed correctly. That's gonna be a really nice trade if it'll go. So watching that one very closely. All right, lift LYFT. Well, that looks pretty horrible. That's what I talk about. Like, if it can't hold there, right back down. I wouldn't touch that one. Losing tons of money. Probably going lower. How low can she go? 0 is how low she can go. XOM. Yeah, like I said, a lot of these oil stocks are just trucking here. Right up to the 120 was the target. And probably can expect a pullback to match some of these other ones, or at least match that one, some kind of echo, and then the next push. And okay, I'd be looking for profit on XOM, not an entry. And okay, looks like garbage. That's the direction. All right, that's basically all the requests. It's been 40 minutes. 40 minutes of fun. We're 30 minutes of here and gone. Yeah, I see Siri. Last couple requests. That. What do you want to know? That looks bad. Like really, really bad. Don't try to catch falling knives. They're red for a reason. Your account will be red. Try to catch that. The one I made a position in that's a piece of garbage is this one right here, because like 12 hedge funds bought multi-million share positions in this in the last couple months here. This thing can, and it made the list of the top short squeezed, I mean not top short, the top shorted stock for the Russell 3000. This is the king of shorted stocks. Soros is short this stock, and it has like incredibly 75% of float is short, 100% utilization on the shares in the float. It's all the makings of a giant pop. So I bought a 2025 synthetic share position at $25, I think it was. Yeah. Bought the 25 call, sold the 25 put, bought a call underneath it to protect the downside. I need a bullish pop back up into this area really to make some money. So that was my position out to 2025. This is a crypto capital company. They do crypto lending and whatever, crypto banking. So all right, there's your one. There's another leap one. Whoever was asking about that, any more leap plays, there you go. That's another one. All right, hope you have a great one, everybody. Be back 9:15 in the morning, live on YouTube, right there, YouTube link. And I'll see you in the morning for the morning monster. Drink my monster and check the markets out, because I don't drink coffee. So see everybody later. Have a great day. And 30 minutes awesome next week if you don't otherwise make it to one of the morning shows. And see you guys later. Bye, everybody.